The latest announcement made in Community Crunch 4.33 brings pivotal changes to Ark Survival Ascended that could significantly impact gameplay. Initially introduced in Ark Survival Evolved, Cryopods were met with mixed reactions from the community. Their primary limitation was a cooldown, which meant after releasing a creature from a cryopod, players had to wait 5 minutes before deploying another. This cooldown required players to strategize, choosing which creatures to deploy in specific scenarios, both in PvE and PvP environments. In ASA, however, additional restrictions were introduced. Players must be within close range of a cryofridge to use a cryopod, which prevents the use of cryopods far from their base or outpost. Additionally, after placing a cryofridge, a 5-minute wait time is required before it becomes functional, meaning you can't even throw out a cryopod until its cooldown has elapsed. This limitation meant that even if players brought a cryofridge with them on explorations, they could not use cryopods even after the initial cryofridge setup. In PvP, the limitations are even more restrictive. Cryopods cannot be used near enemy structures or players, preventing quick creature deployment during raids or defensive battles. Consequently, if players are defending against the raid and are distant from their cryofridge, or if enemies are too close, they cannot release stored creatures, putting them at a huge strategic disadvantage. Furthermore, in both PvP and PvP servers, if another tribe's base is already established in an area, you do not possess the ability to build nearby, meaning you lack the ability to build a cryofridge, which effectively disables the use of cryopods and creature deployment in that area. These changes were likely implemented to balance gameplay, encouraging more tactical planning and reducing the reliance of cryopods for spontaneous creature deployment. However, these changes sparked quite a bit of controversy as many players felt these limitations reduced flexibility and hindered their ability to defend bases and manage creatures effectively. The new rules around cryopods introduced in ASA added a layer of complexity that prompted many players to adjust their strategies, but ultimately introduced constraints that negatively impacted the overall game experience for those accustomed to the original system in Ark Survival Evolved. Well, these huge, significant changes that are coming to the base game are scheduled for release on November 11th, and they will significantly alter the cryopod limitations, enhancing player freedom in both PvE and PvP environments. In PvE, the distance restriction tied to the cryofridge will be removed. This update allows players to freely travel across the map, whether flying, swimming, or navigating to remote areas, and deploy creatures directly from cryopods for tasks like resource gathering, cave exploration, or creature taming without needing proximity to a cryofridge. For PvP, the requirement to check for nearby enemies before deploying creatures from cryopods will also be lifted, while the cryofridge proximity requirement will remain in place. This change provides players greater flexibility to defend their bases more effectively, but prevents the advantage of deploying larger creatures like gigas directly within enemy bases during raids. Wildcard has stated they will continue to monitor the impact of these changes over time in the PvP environment to ensure they enhance gameplay balance. These changes truly are transformative for gameplay in Ark Survival Ascended. In PvP, the ability to deploy a cryopoded creature instantly during a base defense is a significant enhancement to what it was previously. While the cooldown does remain in effect to prevent the creature spamming and the proximity to the cryofridge is still required, this update overall revitalizes the role of cryofridges and cryopods within PvP strategy. For PvE, however, the impact is even more profound. Previously, limitations on cryofridges created obstacles for creature diversity, exploration, and traversing the map efficiently. For example, the baryonyx has long been a favorite creature for caving due to its adaptability both on land and in the water, as well as its manageable size that fits into nearly any cave. Yet players are now able to consider a much wider variety of creatures for these roles. Now, not every creature may have that same adaptability when it comes to the water and have a fantastic stun, but a lot of creatures are great at caving, they just were simply too big to use. Now with this change, you can go through and bring along your preferred companions and simply cryo them and uncryo them as you navigate certain cave choke points. Additionally, this update can introduce a new tactical advantage when facing tougher PvE encounters. When engaging a challenging creature, players who are only riding a single creature can now throw out a second creature of the same species to gain a mate boost while out exploring, which will provide significant bonuses to both damage output and survivability. This added flexibility can make a critical difference in high stakes encounters, as well as just navigating, because typically the UI is not so great on second creatures following you, but if you could simply just pull one out for an encounter and then put it back away, that greatly goes through and adds to the depth of the gameplay. Honestly, this is quite the refreshing update for Ark, bringing back many creatures in active use, particularly within cave exploration. Take for example the Blue Cave on Aberration. The new mechanics will now allow you to use larger creatures like the Carcanos for the majority of the cave, simply by just using a cryopod. Overall, in my opinion, this is a fantastic enhancement, and yes, we still don't have the performance performance change, but you know what? This is a great change, and I'm really happy with it. I know for sure that definitely means I will now need one less mod installed since the base game offers a nice quality of life change. Alright, now moving on over from the Cryopods, I actually wanted to briefly touch on Extra Life. Unfortunately, due to my hardware limitations, I'm unable to stream content for all of you, or I certainly would have liked to join in on all that fun. Even if only one of you chose to watch me, it would be fun to participate regardless. But as a community, everyone did amazing. The community managed to raise $131,073 total dollars. That puts the lifetime total for the event at $1,071,697, which is absolutely insane. Now, I personally have kids, and I can tell you when they get sick, it sucks. And as a parent, you often get worried. More often than not, you're just over worrying, but unfortunately, sometimes kids do get really sick and need help. And families can't always afford that kind of financial strain, but it's their kids, so they do whatever they can do no matter what. And through all the contributions you and everyone else makes, it really makes a difference to their parents, to the kids, and their families as a whole. So I personally just want to say thank you all for being such a great community. Whether you donate or simply just support the cause, you are all appreciated. Alright, well, that was pretty sentimental, so let's mix it up and talk about giving away your money, or in this case, maybe throwing away your money for a completely different cause. That's right, we're getting Wave 2 of Power Rangers coming to ARC. If you liked Wave 1, then Wave 2 should be exciting, with 7 new player skins that have signature weapon emotes and 4 creature Zord skins. It's set to release on January 23rd of 2025. Personally, player skins have never been my favorite, but I am a sucker for structure skins. That's how they got me with the Bob's Tall Tales. But hey, if you like Power Rangers and you like ARC, Morphin Time is coming soon to a credit card charge near you. Now I'd like to hear your thoughts. Are you happy with the updates to Cryo functionality? And are you looking forward to exploring the new possibilities in ASA? Please share your thoughts and your opinions in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more ARC content in the future.